Hi there and welcome to another episode of Ask VSA, proudly brought to you and sponsored by the Ultimate Online Singing Course. Please check it out. This guarantees singing results like no other singing course. And in today's episode, I am going to be answering the question of explaining how the diaphragm actually works. Now, to do with breathing. So, the diaphragm. Let me just explain a little bit about the diaphragm. The diaphragm is actually a muscle that sits underneath your lungs. So let's talk about, first and foremost, breathing. It's so important to do with singing because breathing and breath pressure, we want to put the right amount of breath pressure underneath the vocal cords all the time so that we can sing the right notes. We're going to breathe through your stomach, firm the stomach up, yeah! And then we can tighten the stomach and get the right notes, breath pressure, support, whatever it may be, so that you can sound the best. So let's talk about anatomy firstly. You have a bronchial tube. That's about a 6-inch tube that takes the air down to your lungs, and you may have seen some lungs maybe on the side of the packets of smokes, or maybe in a book or on the internet, but your lungs are actually pear-shaped. Okay, so they're bigger down below than what they are up top, so they're pear-shaped. And your lungs come down as low as your lowest rib of your rib cage, so on the side there. So your lungs are still here at the front. If some of you unfortunately have been punched, hit or kicked in this V area here, you would have been winded because you would have been punched in your lungs. Okay, so your diaphragm is actually a muscle that sits right underneath your lungs, and this basically just moves up and down your whole life and enables you to breathe. Now, a lot of you might be saying, no, it comes up here. No, it doesn't. It comes from here. You can Google it, have a look. Your diaphragm actually raises your lungs up and down and brings the air in and out of your lungs. If you're breathing at the top with your pectoral muscles, that's these big muscles in your chest, this is a short breath. Look how short it is. And gone. This is called a deep breath. If someone says, hey, take a deep breath and calm down, it's through the diaphragm. So we want to breathe in to your diaphragm. I have specific breathing exercises that I teach all of my students how to take a proper singer's diaphragmatic breath, and I teach my students how to do this in about 30 seconds by laying on a ball, and I get them to breathe through their diaphragm. That's how I teach all of my students. It's a very simple and a hugely effective technique, and I've taught diaphragmatic breathing to 3-year-olds all the way up to 7-year-olds, and everyone has got this particular technique with the technique that I teach. But if you haven't got a ball, and I can't lay on the ground right here because the camera's not going to get down onto the ground, otherwise I'd be gone. I'm going to show you just how the diaphragm works using a balloon here today. So when you're breathing, what you want to try to do is you want to try to breathe into your intestines or your belly button, and you want to stick your stomach out as you're breathing air in. I normally look into a mirror sideways like this, and I pop a hand on my chest and I pop a hand on my diaphragm, and I try to stick my stomach out as I'm breathing air in. As I'm breathing air out, I pull my stomach in. My top hand isn't moving, as you can see. My top hand's not moving. Stomach goes out as you breathe air in. Stomach comes in as you breathe air out. Try to practice that. Now, to get control, to help you out with your control of notes when you're singing, you need to put the right amount of breath pressure underneath the vocal cords so that your vocal cords will vibrate evenly all the time. Now, when you're singing down lower, you have less breath pressure because you don't need as much breath pressure to sing lower or quieter. As you're singing higher, you need more breath pressure so that you can sing and sustain high notes and control them. So you actually need more power underneath your vocal cords, or what I call breath pressure. So down low, I'm not using much breath pressure here at all. Yeah. But up top, yeah. I'm using a lot more breath pressure to get to those higher notes there. My stomach was really tightening up. So what I will do is I'll try to explain this here. Now, I've had a couple of wardrobe malfunctions here. I've blown up 3 of these already, and they have gone bang and blown up. So if this blows up, I'm going to edit this and I'm going to bring in another balloon here, because I've had about 3 wardrobe malfunctions, as Janet Jackson says. I'm not going to blow this balloon up any more than this. So let's pretend that this is a full breath that you're taking into your diaphragm. So I always teach all of my students to take an 80% diaphragmatic breath and then a 10% bronchial breath. So it's 90% full. Yes, never 100% full when we're singing, because you're going to be like this, and then you're going to just expel and blow out air, and you're going to lose the control of those top couple of notes. So a comfortably 90% full, 80% breath in your diaphragm and 10% through your bronchi tubes, so it's 90% full. Now, how the diaphragm works is when you are full, when you've got your diaphragm full of air and you want to go for higher notes, you would tighten your diaphragm up a little bit more, and that will put more pressure underneath the vocal cords, very similar to the way this balloon will expand. As I'm pressing the bottom of the balloon, the top exit point is getting bigger here. So it's the same thing. So as I'm going up higher, I go, yeah, and that's what I do. So it's the same as this, yeah, and I would tighten this up. When I'm singing down low, there's less pressure here. So I'll just be going, yeah, to control those. Now, when you're singing as well too, you're also expelling air all the time to make the sound. So please make sure that you, as you're running out of air, you can be doing this with your diaphragm. I'll be trying to give you an example here. So it's yeah. As I'm running out of air, I'm tightening more there. So that's a very simple and quick example of how the diaphragm will work for you to control your notes. Now, if you don't have any air, if you just take a breath up here, like this, small breath, you can't use your diaphragm. So if you're just breathing here, you've got no power here, you're not going to have any power or control over your voice, and your voice is going to flutter and just fly around and be off pitch and sound awful. So it's imperative that you use and learn proper diaphragmatic breathing if you want to be a good singer. If you want to be a fantastic singer, this really needs to work for you. But please focus on this. I hope that I have helped you out. I'm sure that I have. Please learn proper diaphragmatic breathing. I have got some playlists with proper breathing techniques in them. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get back to all of your questions. Please keep them coming in. Thank you very much for responding and all the questions. I'm really grateful. And if you need any professional help, please look us up. We can do Skype lessons. If you're in Melbourne, we can help you out with lessons in studio here. We also have the Ultimate Online Singing Course. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this segment has helped you out, and I'll see you on next week's segment of Ask VSA. Have a great week. Bye for now. Much love.